Hello and welcome to another episode of You First. That's right, it's about you, and you. I am Shawanna Kennedy. I'm excited to be here today. You know that this is your safe space to make it all about who, and all of this is you. We talk about what does that look like, your empowerment, your personal development, your mental health, all things concerning you first. Most of you who have been following with me and rocking with me, so thank you for everybody who has been showing up every week to support you first. I'm excited because when I think about part of my own journey and dealing with, illness, and then of course, every now and then some things not only affect our body, but they affect our mind. And today I'm excited because this educated Black young woman is in the wings waiting to talk about her life, what she has now made it a part of what she gets to do. She crafts stories that talk about her mental illness and how she works through that as a part of her journey. And she's excited to even have the conversation with me because she wants to bring more awareness to being bipolar and all of what that looks like. And she's going to share her story with us today. I'm excited because she is an alumni of Howard University. She's a Bison. That's right. We got a Bison in the house today. So for all of the Howard University alumni, that's right. You got one of your very own in the building today. So without further ado, I'm going to get out of the way and I want to bring in Miss Ashleigh Owens. Hey, Ashleigh.
Hi.
Well,
I'm excited to be here.
First, yes, I'm excited that you were able to pause for the cause and to get in here because we already know you're a mom, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're a writer. You craft your stories around your journey with that. And so are okay with talking about the things that go on with you from a mental health perspective. And I'm so glad and I'm so proud of you. Let me say that for the airwaves. I am proud of, because of what is going on with you, you're making it work for you. So it's not what happened to you, it's what's happening for you. And because I believe God trusted you enough to know that you could carry this to help somebody else. I'm gonna be bold enough to say that, right?
All right.
When you discovered that in 2020, when you received your diagnoses, what did that look like for you?
That looked like me having one of my worst episodes of hypomania. I didn't have the words hypomania then, but looking back and knowing that that's what was happening. The world was shutting down. I had a lot of personal problems going on. And I had been more depressed than I had ever been in my life and just feeling like I was losing my mind. I didn't want to be here every day, wrestling with thoughts of just, not being here. And just feeling like I needed to run away and get out of my skin. And so what led to my diagnosis was when the world shut down. We were all supposed to be secluded in the house and quarantining. I rented a car and drove to Cleveland because I was like, if I'm going to die, I'm going to be with my family. Drove to Cleveland. I spent the weekend in my sister's bed. I did nothing but just laid in the bed, just thinking about how miserable I was, how awful I felt. And as soon as I got back, I knew that, it was time to get right. I had been in therapy, and I had been incorrectly diagnosed as major depressive disorder. Because for me, hypomania and mania wasn't very prevalent. It was just a depression.
Tell us what that is for the viewers who may not know what that is.
Mm-hmm. So hypomania can look like different things. It's characterized by an elevated mood. So it's not just, oh, I'm happy, I'm good. It's like, I am on top of the world. I am grandiose. For some people, I have bipolar 2. For people with bipolar 1, that can include seeing visions, seeing people, hearing things. That luckily for me, I do not experience hypomania in that way. For me, it's increased mood, it's increased agitation. Sometimes I can just be rageful. Everything makes me angry. Everything makes me want to just rah, just lash out.
Yeah.
And you kind of just feel it's really hard to put it in words sometimes, but you want to get out of your skin because you just feel so agitated and irritated. That can look like
Do you
doing
have
things.
like a out of body? Have you ever felt and had where it felt like you might have had an out of body experience where you like you know that this is happening and
Mhm.
and you know that's what's going on?
Yeah, so disassociating for me, that is a really big symptom. I will dissociate in a minute. If I don't want to be here in this situation, or if too much is going on, or I don't feel in my right mind, sometimes it does look and feel like you're standing outside of your body watching what's happening to you. Like you see in the movies when someone is looking down at themselves and the world going on. That's how it can feel sometimes, especially if it's a high stress situation or a high emotion situation. I can just be like, hey, I am removing myself from this situation, and I'm just going to be on autopilot and not be there to experience that.
Wow, thank you for sharing that. And when I think
Hmm.
about the fact that you choose to be, and I'm believing what it came as, it started as an outlet, you writing, right? Because we
Hmm.
write some beautiful essays. And I know I remember some years back, because she's been writing forever, y'all. She's been writing for, and when did they collide, the writing with the diagnosis?
Oh, so when I first started writing, I just, thought I had regular old depression. Just, hey, I am sad sometimes, and that's just what it is. Life happens, I get sad, and then I'm okay. And so I mostly wrote in my journal to release those feelings, wrote based on prompts or questions from my therapist on my life and what was going on. And then when I would share every now and then a little bit of what I was writing, I got the feedback that, hey, people need to see this. People want to read this. People are feeling this and can't say it for themselves.
Yeah.
And so that inspired me to get into blogging and actually putting my writing out there and writing for other people to read and not just for myself.
Now, I know you did. Have you ever ghost written about the subject?
No,
Mhm.
honestly, everything I've written about, I've put my name on.
Very
Um, of course,
all
in the
about intellectual
beginning,
property. Yeah, all about the
yeah,
intellectual property.
yeah, yeah. In the beginning, I did write a little bit more safer, so it was, hey, I have depression. Here's how I get through it, or here's how I navigate it. Now I am a bit more vulnerable and transparent in that writing and saying, hey, in this moment, I don't want to be here. I don't want to be alive right now. And I'm telling y'all this in real time. It's not something that I've gotten through. It's something that I'm still currently going through and wrestling with. Even just today, I am fresh off of a mental health day. I took off work today because I was like, hey, I am not feeling it.
Mhm.
I I just would rather be to myself resting and doing what I need to do or want to do to be okay. And that did not include work. So
No, and that's good because your employer now, how do they address that with
mhm.
them knowing?
So honestly, I am grateful that I work with some amazing people. I have an amazing manager. And all I have to do is say, hey, today I'm not feeling it, or hey, I didn't rest well last night and it's messing with my brain and I don't think I can work. Um, Sometimes I'm getting work done at 9, 10 o'clock p.m. because my brain didn't want to work at 2 or 3 or 4 o'clock
Mhm.
p.m. And I didn't get it done then. And so they're really flexible in working with me and making sure that I'm okay first because the work will be there. I am not a firefighter. I'm not putting out fires. People will not die if I don't do my work. And so it's like, hey, I wanted this by 5 p.m. today, but it's okay if you get it to me by 9 a.m. And so that gives me the evening when my brain is working a bit better and I'm feeling a little more calm
Mhm.
with the sun setting and can get a little bit more work done. So my job, and I know that's not everybody's story, but my job is really good with supporting me through it.
No, that's a blessing. And I know one of the things that you mentioned, you said having that moment during COVID, and then you took
Hmm.
that drive home. look, shout out to all our family back home, right?
Yes.
Right? Shout out to all our family back home. And then sitting there and then having that conversation, because I want to applaud you for even taking the steps to go to therapy. Like, even
Mhm.
include the therapy to say, I'm not liking this. I don't like this. I
Mhm.
didn't go to my doctor and say, hey, can you give me something to calm my nerves or to help me sleep it through? That you even took the steps to go to therapy. When did you say I needed to know a little bit more, or they need to run more tests on me? Though you're now with family, so what did that even look like?
Mhm.
Telling the family that this is going on instead of them just saying, Ashley may just be very depressed. How
Mhm.
when it was time to have the conversation with your family about how serious it was,
Mhm.
depression is serious in itself. But when you
Mhm.
add the element of this, how was that even navigating that with the family?
Honestly, my family, we are texters. So I text my parents like, "Hey, this is what's going on with me. This is what I've talked to my therapist about, and this is what we've come to agree that is what's wrong with me. Here's what I've been experiencing." And my parents were supportive throughout the whole thing. Like, "Hey, do what you need to do to be okay." We don't talk about specifics about what's going on. So
Yeah.
I very rarely do I call them in the moment like, hey, I'm not feeling okay. It's been a day today. But I do keep them up to date on, if I'm changing medications, if I have a new doctor and, different things are happening.
Yeah.
They're very supportive. There was no kind of backlash. And bipolar disorder runs in my family, and I'm sure that there are plenty more who don't have the diagnoses and don't have the medications. We just know that something is wrong and something is happening there. So talking to my family was one of the first steps before I started talking to the public about, hey, I now have this official diagnosis, the correct diagnosis.
Right.
um, and that talking to my family helps me to be open with the public as well.
That's good. Yeah, you look, shout out to Nikki and Ryan. Hey, hey. Yeah, I know the family, y'all. I know the family. I know. Look,
I was
I
about to say you
am
are the
family.
family.
I know those folks, no, I am family. Those are my people, and I love them. And when I think about it, though, and always even watching you, knowing that, look, we go way back before you was like
Mhm.
born, right? And watching you grow, watching you mature, and then here it is, lo and behold, now she's a mom.
Yes,
She's a mother.
a
She is a
whole mother.
mommy. She is a whole mama, right? Somebody call her mama and look up to
Mhm.
her. And I see how it really changed everything for you, to me, in my eye.
Mhm.
With what you deal with, how has becoming a mother changed you?
Ooh, that can be a whole episode on its
I
own.
know, right? We're gonna, we're
But
gonna, we're gonna tease them and then we'll come back to
yes,
talk.
right. But first and foremost, it gave me another reason to really make sure that I survived this, right?
Mm,
Because without my daughter here, it was like, hey, my parents will be okay if I'm not here. My siblings will be okay if I'm not here. My friends will be okay. But having a child who is mine, I am her mother, I can't leave her here. And not only can I not leave her here, I can't make life hell for her while she's here. And if I don't
mm.
get myself together, I can, in the process, damage her because I'm not working on myself. So that's how that changed me. It gave me motivation to really get it together and to, save my life because there was no other choice. I was not leaving my baby. I'm not messing up my baby. None of that. So the motivation, that definitely was the biggest way it changed. It gave me something to live for.
Yeah, that why. It's always the why. No matter what
Mhm.
we have to know the reason why we're doing it, how we moving, why we moving. We have to know our
Mhm.
why. So make sure you are knowing your why, even if you're not dealing with an illness. It's no matter what walk of life, no matter what's going, you got to know your why. Like, once you get up, why am I doing what I'm doing today? It said, give us this day. Like, today, what am I doing? Why am I doing
Mhm.
it? Because it has to be intentional and purposeful with everything we do, because everything is leading to something.
Mhm.
I'm big on saying do something today that your future self will thank you for. And when you think about you being a mom, and how do you navigate when you might have an episode? How do you navigate
Mhm.
that when she's at home with you?
Mhm. So I love this question because I love bragging on my support system. I don't call myself a single mother because I'm a mother who just so happens to be single, but I am not doing any part of this alone. Uh, her dad is amazing. He's in her life. If I call him and I'm like, hey, I just can't do it today, he'll come pick her up or I'll drop her off. And I know it's the day I'm supposed to have her, but hey, I can't do it today. I have wonderful friends. All of my family lives in Cleveland, but I have wonderful friends here who are like family who I can call and say, hey, I need you to come sit with us, or I need to drop Ava off, or I need to come there. Even when Ava's with her dad, I need to come there so I can be okay. And someone is having eyes on me while I'm feeling like this. And so, of course, there have been times where, I have to hide in the closet while she's sleeping so she doesn't hear me crying, or
Mm,
we gotta go take a nap together because mommy, you doing too much right now, and mommy can't handle it. And so instead of getting upset and lashing out, we about to go take a nap. I know it's not nap time, but we gonna lay it down and figure it out.
yeah,
And
yeah.
so I don't do any part of this alone, and I wouldn't be able to do any of it without my system of support. I just have so much support, and I know that's not everybody's story, so I'm so grateful for that.
Well, thank you, supporters. Thank you.
Yes.
Look, thank you, because
Yes.
it can be rough, even when life seems okay. It's nice to know
Mhm.
that you have those people who are like, it's God is amazing in how even though people are not blood, God still
Mhm.
navigates and puts people right where we need them. And thank you, Dad. I want to thank you, Dad, if you see this episode. Thank you. And for other dads who are there and moms who support people that go through this because they're going through it. I'm grateful that you're going through it and you're not stuck in it, because you telling
Mhm.
the story, I think it is a form of therapy. It's saying that you don't own me, and you don't get to do that because I'm going to work my way through this. And so
Mhm.
again, I really do applaud you. I want you real quick though to just even
Mhm.
talk to someone who may be struggling. Just talk to them, even if they don't even realize. Tell them
Mhm.
talk about some things that they need to be looking for when it may be just a little bit more than depression. So if you could do that for me, if you could do
For
that for
sure. Yeah. So first off, if you are feeling like you want to harm yourself or harm others, that's definitely a telltale sign to say, hey, I need to figure this out. Something's wrong. Something's not right. Because when we're having thoughts of harming others or ourselves, that's a telltale sign that something in here is just not, it's not doing well. And so that would be the first thing that I say. The second thing that I would say is that it's okay to not be okay. There's so much shame and stigma around suffering mentally or emotionally, especially in our community. We are supposed to be strong. We're supposed to be resilient. We're of a people. We're our ancestors' wildest dreams. All the things, right? But life is not perfect and it's not always going to be okay. So it's okay to not be okay. That's the second thing I would say. The third thing I would say is don't do it alone. Don't go at it alone. You are not alone. Mental illness can feel very lonely, especially if you suffer from psychosis where you're hearing things and seeing things. And those things may tell you that you are alone. Those things may tell you that you'll never get help. Those things may tell you that you just need to not be here and that'll solve all your problems. And those things are a lie. So, depression, anxiety, all of that, those thoughts and feelings that you have are being told, they are lies, 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 lies. The next thing I'll say is it's okay to seek help, whatever that help looks like, whether you're talking to a trusted confidant, you're talking to a professional, it's okay to talk to professionals. Professionals are professionals for a reason, and they're trained to help you. They're trained to listen. You might have to go through a couple. I've been through a couple therapists. I've been through quite a few psychiatrists. But somebody out there is the perfect person to help you get on that path of healing and recovery and just knowing. The first thing is just to know what's going on. I need to put a name to this thing so that I can know about it, so that I can treat it, so that I can survive it. If I don't know what it is, it's hard to combat it. Because I'm just at that point, I'm just fighting the air, hoping to land a punch somewhere. I don't know where I'm aiming to or what I'm aiming for, but I want to land somewhere. And so all this to say, get help. It's okay. You're not alone. Um, Seek a professional. And something that I really recommend for a lot of people, not just if you have bipolar disorder, um, medication. Medication has saved my life, and I will be a huge advocate for it. I will likely be on antipsychotic medication for the rest of my life. I don't like how I feel not on medication. I do not like how my experiences, what my experiences look and feel like when I'm not on the medication. I just feel better. I operate better, and I am better when I take my medication. And there's so many different avenues of treatment. Medication is just one of them. Therapy is another, and it's not just talk therapy. There is music therapy. There's somatic therapy. There is all types of therapy and all types of treatment that you can go through just to make sure that you are okay for yourself, for you first, and then everyone else in your life who loves you and cares for you and needs you and depends on you and all the things.
Woo!
How was that?
That's good. That's good. And in hearing you express that, man, my heart go out, and it make we all should pause to even do a mental wellness check, right? Because
Mhm.
there's so many things that could be going on with us, and we push stuff under the rug. We
Mhm.
and we don't have the conversation soon enough. And so I applaud you. If y'all not following Ashleigh, make sure you are following her on all social media platforms. Subscribe to her. We're going to make sure that you have all of her information so that you can subscribe to her blog. She is one heck of a, I wanted to say another word. She is one heck of a writer, right? And just sharing her journey. I have to talk to you about talking about social media. I recently saw you and I said, I'm going to wait till I know we talking online. You
Uh-oh.
were talking about, and I was like, what is going on? You were saying, I'm happy. I'm just happy. I'm just happy. You got to talk to me about, you have to talk to me about being happy. What is
Yes.
that? What is that?
That the video that you're talking about was actually an older video. So I a part of my own therapy, when I journal, I don't just write journal, I record videos and audios of myself. And so that video was a video from 2018. I had been feeling down, and I had been in a moment where I was just like, hey, I am happy. I am finally happy. Because when I'm depressed and unmedicated, I can't say that I'm happy. I don't feel happy. I don't think happiness is a possibility for me, because you can be so bogged down in that darkness and that depression that you're just like, hey, I'll never be happy again. And you'll feel it. You'll believe it, because right now I am sad and I am down and I'm depressed, and I don't feel that happiness can be available to me. And so I recorded that video to show my future self, me now, to say, hey, I have moments where I am happy. I am happy. Nothing is bothering me. I can complain, but I won't, because the complaints are minuscule. They're like, hey, I wish I was a little bit smaller right now. I'm complaining about that, but I'm happy. I am happy, and I'm just so loving that. And I was so ecstatic and expressive in saying it, because when you're depressed for more of the year than you're not, it's really hard to believe that you can reach that. And so that was just a reminder to myself that, like, hey, I have moments where I'm like, nothing is bothering me. Everything is okay. Everything will be okay. And if I don't ever believe it, I'm telling myself now, like, it'll be okay, because it's going to be okay. And so,
There's power in the things that we say. So that's why I'm
yeah.
telling you, it made me smile. Like, okay, yes, I am happy, right? I not even knew that it had to be from a different time because, of course, you're blind, right? So I
Mhm.
from a different time, but I was like, okay, yeah, okay, okay. I'm happy. I'm happy. I'm
Yes.
choosing joy. I am choosing joy. Thinking about that, I don't know if you can even see it someplace on the screen, but I think one of the flowers that we have in common that is a favorite is our Sunflower. You got to
Yes.
talk for a second about the sunflower. Why is the sunflower so important to you?
Oh, they're beautiful. My
Yes,
favorite color is yellow, and
yeah.
there are so many different shades of yellow in the sunflowers, and it's just so beautiful, and I love it. But I also love that sunflowers, they will always find the sun. They will face the sun, even if it's a cloudy day. You know wherever that sun is hiding under a cloud based on where that sunflower is turned, because they will always find that light. And so it's just a reminder to me to always find the light, even if it's cloudy, even if it's dark, it might even be storming. That sun and that light is somewhere. And so I love having that reminder in the form of sunflowers. That
I
light
love
is somewhere and I can face it.
I love it because, but look, one of my symbols too. It's of course the sunflower, but then even the pom pom. When I any people know
Hmm.
pom pom, that's power over mindset, power over me. But it's
Yes.
also it to me, it still symbolizes a sunflower because of the petals, right? When you think about the
Hmm.
center, and so even all of that, see so much. So the look, a lot of people don't see that. You see that?
Oh, yay. Hey,
A lot of people don't know that. Look, that's something that I did. Look to mark my 55th. Yeah, so that was
sunflowers. Yes.
something that I did. To do a little something,
It's
something.
so beautiful.
Ah, yeah, right. Look, I was a big girl and I did something just for me, right? For you
Yes.
first, right? Because
You
remember,
first.
this show is all about you. It's all about you and
Yes.
the things that you may want to do for yourself. That actually helps you to be happy, to help you find joy. And I like the joy unspeakable, the joy that you can't
Yes.
explain. You cannot explain it. And we have to own it and we have to choose it. And you listening at Ashleigh tell her story beautifully about sometimes when we can't, it's okay to get help. It's okay to take your medicine. You heard her. Take your medicine because it's about you and your well-being. I want to
Hmm.
know too, has at any time, because writing is what you get to do, right? And you choose to do
Hmm.
it for your life. Has it been a time where you have been writing for work, but then because of the writing, it then triggers something?
Oh, I don't. Let me see. That's a good question. Honestly, yeah. So, there's a lot of stigma just in life, period, behind mental illness, but there's so much stigma in corporate and work. You're not supposed to talk about it. You're supposed to be a robot that doesn't have feelings. And if you do have feelings, you better not let me see it. You better not let me hear it. And so, I think I was writing a well-being newsletter for my job, and at the time they were just like, "Hey, give tips on how to be well," and they were looking for eat your fruits and vegetables, go out, go take a walk. That's what they were looking for. But no, I came in there with, "Hey, take your medicine, go to therapy, talk to your manager." You
Mhm.
know, so many people are suffering at work and they don't talk to the people that they need to talk to, and so you may not be doing the best on your job and your manager is looking at you like, hey, you're lazy, you're incompetent, you're whatever, because they don't have that knowledge that, like, hey, I'm not lazy, I'm not incompetent, it's just I'm fighting my brain right now,
Yeah.
and work is the last thing that I can focus on, unfortunately. And so, yeah, that was the time where that struck, and so that turned into another newsletter that I put on my blog about how to talk about your mental health at work. And so
I love it. I love
I,
it because
I like I like being able to merge the two.
no, it's wonderful that you're able to do that. I do recall it's been a few years now with
Mhm.
when I before branching out, and launching my own business. But when I did work for someone else, I recall a time when, and this is what I'm saying, I'm sharing this to help somebody else too. Oftentimes we have employers and we don't use our benefits and they take
Mhm.
those benefits out, right? They take those benefits out, and some people, because they're ashamed, they don't use those benefits, but you are paying into that. So that's the benefit.
Mhm.
Use
Yes.
your benefits. I recall when I knew that it was something, and I was calling it, migraines, and so much so to where I wound up actually accessing my benefits and taking FMLA because I needed time away. And
Mhm.
I want to help somebody be okay to do that, because oftentimes we're thinking if you were to leave this world right now, they would find someone else to replace you. So
Immediately.
your benefits. Use your benefits. Use your benefits. Ashleigh, this is such a wonderful conversation. You have been so transparent with the things that are going on with you. One last question before we get out of here.
Okay.
If you could have one word, when I think about you first, self-care, mental well-being, right? Empowerment, all of those things.
Mm-hmm.
One word, if you had to grab a word that could help center you if you needed to do it right away.
Oh, one word to help center me. I'm a writer. I like words, so too many. I'm like, just one? Just one? Oh, one. Okay, I'm gonna cheat. I'm gonna say two, and I would just say stay grounded, because stay grounded for me, especially dealing with anxiety, depression, bipolar disorder, all of that. It's easy for me to just want to run away or go away, figure out how to just not be dealing with that, and finding ways to keep myself grounded and just stay, whether that's literally sitting on the floor, if I got a rock, if I have to meditate, if I have to count in my head or out loud, just finding ways to keep myself here in my center and find my way back to my center. And that's always with staying grounded. So I would say stay grounded. Stay grounded.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Remember to stay grounded. Ashleigh, don't you go anywhere. Let me get them out of here. Don't you go anywhere. Okay. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Don't y'all just love Ashleigh? You know that because she's so transparent in what she's talking about. Her life. This is her life, and it's her life's work. And her being okay to tell it to help someone else. And that someone just might be you or someone that you know and you love. So make sure that you get help. Be okay to seek help. Get the help that you know you need for who? You first. I'm Shawanna Kennedy. You know that I love being your host and having this time set aside for who? The Who Is You. Make sure you're following Ashleigh on all social media platforms. Make sure you subscribe and tell someone about this show, because we are who we are because of you. I want to thank you, thank you, thank you. I love being your host. I will see you guys again next time for You First. Bye for now. This episode is brought to you by Kennedy Media, your ultimate partner in content creation, video recording, and digital marketing. Be seen, be heard, and increase visibility in your business. Contact us today at KennedyMediaLLC.com, KennedyMediaLLC.com, and unlock your brand's full potential.